Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our final event of the day. This is going to be another qualifying race, and it is going to be our Group G. Group G consists of GTS1 and 2, PTD, PTE, and the Legends cars. Legends cars, of course.
Miata Deux.
Oh, Miata Deux. I didn't see that on the grid sheet here. Well, I'm going to go down the grid for y'all here. Our first wave is going to be flying with a pace car. That's going to be GTS2. And that's going to be Zach Hillman on the pole, followed by Greg Smith, Will Choice in third, followed by Eric Foss, Kerry James, Doug Young, Steve Dunn, and Peter Chang. Our second wave will be flying with a pace car. And the pole on that second wave is going to be Chris Kopitsky, followed by
Recognize that name from the Spec Miata race.
That's right, yeah.
Hard charger.
Jose Garcia in second place, Bob Schotter in third, Brett Westcott, Team Rotary Heads, oddly enough driving a Mazda Miata, which I doubt has a rotary in it. Joey Thomas is next, Larry West Sr., Jamie Close honoring George Close Jr., Robert Dietz, Team Abergel Motorsports, Jean Bowles, Roman Weisman, Graham Baker, and Kit Leslie.
Third wave flying will be that consolation race from Spec Miata. We're calling it Spec Miata Deux. That's Keith Williamson has the lead there. The pole position, then Shehan Chandrasoma, Natalino Scapatici, Ryan Pond, Connor Kelleher, Michael Cummings, Zachary Monroe, then Tony Sinise, James Harrell, Renaud Roland Hubert, Sean Douglas, Brian Monroe, Mikey Stevens, John Harms, Jason Grippentrog, Stanley Cosper, Tim Barber, and Jimmy Myers will be in that Spec Miata field.
I like that last name, Scapatici. That's a good one.
That's beautiful. All right, well, we do have three waves flying start for this race, again scheduled for 30 minutes, our final qualifying race of the day. We'll finish up with a few administrative things, and then we will see you tomorrow after this race. Again, tomorrow are our championship races for everything other than Spec Miata, so definitely worth your time to tune in tomorrow. We'll be here, and you should too. All right, and remember, this is for the grid tomorrow to be set for their championship races, so they are racing for position for tomorrow. All right, we are going to have three flying starts. Watching for our first wave now. Looks like they are coming through turn 9. Watch for them to come through turn 11. Well, looks like they actually, the first wave may be through turn 19 now. Getting a little late in the day, folks, sorry. We do have our good friend Cameron Davis here running the board for us. He's done a yeoman's job all day, trying to pick the best camera angles for us two knuckleheads to talk about. Rob Klepper down there giving you the color from the pits. So we do have the pace car going off there. We'll watch for our turn 20 cam to come up. We will have a flying start that will get Group G, our final qualifying race of the day, underway.
You know, John, Greenbaum told me this morning it was going to rain all day afternoon.
Nope.
Look at this weather. I see more blue sky right now than I have all weekend.
Yeah, here we go. First wave getting ready to get sent. And they will send it. First wave away. This is GTS2. Zach Hillman had the pole there. Looks like he kept it. Going 5 wide. Lots of moves there, selecting a line. Coming down the inside.
That front car getting
that
a
was
little
brave.
Oh, he was getting pushed through that corner there.
That was brave.
I saw a little sideways action on the braking zone there. I think that was
Yama
because
slamma.
the front of the previous car was in his rear.
That was gnarly. Nicely played, sir. Second wave now looks like coming through. No, that's the third wave. That's the Miatas. Or no, that's a second wave because it was Miatas mixed in with other good stuff.
That's right.
I get
And hey,
confused easily,
John, speaking
sorry.
of sending it, a big shout out to Jared DeAnda and the Formula Drift crew. They are just over there in Dallas at the Texas Motor Speedway for Formula Drift. All right, here we go, lining up in front of the starting line. Not very composed, but at least they're all going the same speed. Will we have a green? There we go, green, green, green.
Green, green, green. We are underway. That's our second wave. PTE Racing. Boy, great field. They are all really tightly in there. Let's watch as they come down. Again, out in front, that was one of our BMWs. I think Joey Thomas had a wonderful start there. A couple cars going wide through turn one. That was a BMW, looked like an E36 chassis. That is Joey Thomas, but that didn't last for long. That's probably Chris Kapitsky coming back and trying to take back that challenge from Joey Thomas. Comes our third group. This is kind of the consolation race there for our Miatas, so they get plenty of green flag racing this weekend, even though they didn't make the big show. And green, green, green. They are off and running. So all three waves successfully launched, and Group G is underway.
Oh, taking the far inside line through turn one there, John. A lot of cars caught some air. Kind of funny to see those Miatas go hopping over that curb one after the other. Here they go into turn three. Nose to tail, those first couple of cars there. It looks like GTS2 is coming across the line now. Eric Foss in the lead.
Ooh, great.
Zach Hillman in second. Greg Smith, Will Choice, Doug Young rounding out your top five. And here they come up the hill. We're watching them on our turn one cam. So that was Eric Foss that got that big bump. Zach Hillman gave it to him.
Nice.
Coming into turn one on the very first corner. This time, a bit more of a gap, but not much. They are, look at that. You can see Hillman, oh, look into the inside. I bet you he's going to make a move before too long here, John. I think he's got a little bit of speed on him there. And a pass being made towards the back of the pack there. I think that was Richard Bosco passing Kerry James.
Now, Eric Foss, if you recognize that name, he does have 3 professional racing championships, including the 2017 IMSA Continental Tire Championship. So he just might be doing okay driving out there. I think Eric might be one to watch.
Is he maybe sandbagging a little bit, being at the NASA Champs?
No, says he likes driver coaching, and he coaches many drivers in NASA and enjoys racing and socializing with all his friends here at the NASA race weekends off. So maybe he's doing a little business development at the same time while he is enjoying some track time here at the Circuit of the Americas.
Well, there's no better way to advertise than you're a good coach than
to win.
Than by beating everyone.
But you don't want to beat your clients. Well, in certain industries, yes. But
beat your future clients, Say, well, if you want to learn how to beat me, I'll teach you. Just pay me.
Easy, Tiger.
Yeah, I'll teach you how to win. Well, who do you want to beat? You want to beat me? That costs extra.
Okay. I'm getting slightly uncomfortable, buddy. Hey now. All right, folks, we are watching our Group G racers underway. That is our big group of performance touring cars that we are watching rolling merrily along. That's the Miatas. That is our second chance Miata group right now. Looking good. Very disciplined. A couple of inside moves there. Good stuff. All right, folks, we are now 2 laps complete, working lap 3 of our final qualifying race of the weekend. There's your GTS2 field coming through. Greg Smith out in front of Eric Foss now. Will Choice, Doug Young, Peter Chang, Kerry James, Steve Dunn, Zach Hillman, Richard Botsko. Those are your top cars in GTS2. Watching for performance touring cars coming through. Looks like Chris Kapitsky is still out in front of PTE. Joey Thomas at the front in PTD.
Yeah, and Kapitsky with a 5-second lead. That is pretty good there.
That's solid. But GTS2, it's very close. From Foss to Smith is 797.79 seconds, and Will Choice is just 7.23 seconds behind Eric Foss. So that's a great battle to follow in GTS2.
You know what else is interesting, John, is in PTD there, second and third place, Jose Garcia and Jose Garcia, both car number 21. They do have different lap times. So sort of wondering what's going on there.
But check it out. It's like a second or so. Maybe he's got a transponder on the front and a transponder on the back.
Right.
And somebody forgot to turn one of them off. Bring me the head of Jose Garcia. Oh, my. All right, folks, we have 2 laps complete. Starting lap 3 here any time now. GTS field will, of course, come around and click that off for us. 30 minutes scheduled for this contest, not number of laps. We go by time.
John, we just watched them come through turn 1 there, but I got to say these Spec Miata guys and gals, in fact, they're being led by a gal, Shihan Chandrasoma, teen Spec Miata driver. Anyway, what I was going to say is that these cars are less than a second apart all the way back to 7th position. So first place is half a second in front of second place. Second place is 0.6 in front of third place. Fourth place, 0.1 back to 5th place. And 0.7 back to 5th place, 0.5 back to 6th, and another 0.6 back to 7th place. So anyway, they may not have made the big show there, but still very good racing going on in the Spec Miata class.
Absolutely, Jeff. Great to see all of the racers out there closing out the show for us for today.
It looks like Greg Smith out there in GTS2 setting a new top time for the session. I know this is not a timed session in terms of finishing qualifications here. It is for position, but it is worth mentioning there. Greg Smith with a 2:32.955.
All right, folks, we are watching now. I believe that's our second chance Miatas.
Well, looks like we've got a new leader there, Keith Williamson.
Oh, took it away from Shihan. Shihan is one of our teen Spec Miata drivers. I believe I approved his rookie permit along with Jerry Kunzman. We took a look at that young man's grades. But he is doing great. Even though he missed the big show, he's running very competitively with Keith Williamson. Looks like they're running times in the 250, 249 range, which is not so bad. And having a great race, keeping out of trouble. Rest of the Spec Miata field through right now, of course, Williamson, then Shihan Chandrasoma, James Harrell, Michael Cummings, Sean Douglas, Tony Sinise, Ryan Pond, Jason Griepentrog, Renaud Roland Hubert, and then Tim Barber. All right, we're now 4 laps complete. GTS2 field is through. 16 minutes gone, so a little over halfway if we factor in the cool down lap. GTS2, Greg Smith still out front. Eric Foss now about 5 seconds behind. Then Will Choice, Doug Young, Kerry James, Peter Chang, Steve Dunn, Zach Hillman, and Richard Bosco looks to be retired. There's Roman Weisman in his Saturn. Very distinctive car out there. Roman is running 4th. Top runners in PTE right now, Chris Kapitsky out front, then the Rotary Heads. Team Abergale Motorsports, Roman Weisman, Jamie Close, Robert Dietz, and John Bowles. That's your PTE field currently. All right, there we go. I believe that's the lead of PTE with Kapitsky out there in front in his Miata. Of course, he was one of our hardest chargers. Whoa!
Easy now.
Easy now. You know, there may be some fluid out there. So I did have a chat with Chris Cabetto downstairs a little bit ago. And you remember we had that big kind of crazy argy-bargy that happened in Spec E30 with a bunch of cars going sideways?
Right.
Well, he got surprised. So he was running along, and a car in front of him zigged, and all of a sudden the turtles were right there, and he managed to hit it square with his oil pan.
Oh, goodness.
Cracked the oil pan right down the middle, 4 quarts of oil on the track, and spun him right away.
Well, at least it wasn't a dry sump.
No kidding. Here's your PTE field coming through. You can see that distinctive shark-nosed Saturn. That was Roman Weisman coming through there. That's your PTE field. Kind of the middle right there. Roman is getting a challenge from Robert Dietz just behind him. See our GTS2 field, I believe, coming through right now. That's the shot on that front straight cam. Greg Smith with the fastest overall lap of the race, a 2:32.599. He's flying.
Well, it looks
His
like
last lap was his fastest lap.
Yeah, and it looks like he has bumped Eric Foss off of the lead there. But,
oh, yeah.
You know, yeah, it must have been a few laps ago. I must not have noticed it because he's got a 7-second gap now.
Yeah, he's not messing around, and he just ran a fastest lap. He is
right.
His last lap was 3 seconds faster than Eric's, or 2.5 seconds faster than Eric's last lap. So he's flying. He found some speed somewhere. But again, it's a qualifying race, so he's got 7 seconds on Eric Foss. He probably wants to back it down a little bit and just keep an eye in the mirror or keep in good touch with his spotter. That way he'll be able to see what's going on and not overtax the car or stuff it into a wall somewhere, and be ready for tomorrow's big show for GTS2. There's some of our performance touring cars coming through. There's that Saturn again. Easy to spot that one. It's kind of hard because a Miata can go in performance touring or in the spec Miatas, and when we have them out here together, it's a little tough to tell which one we're looking at. We do have pretty good camera resolution, but we're doing the best we can. Field is coming now through 19. You got a good shot right there. That's on the backside of the course with that big painted area into turn 20. I think that is the leader in PTE. It is Chris Kapitsky. The Rotary Head's just behind. Team Abergale, and then Jamie Close. He is ahead of Roman Weisman now, up into 4th position. Then Roman Weisman. Now Robert Dietz. Looks like John Bowles may be out. I think he may have blowed up. All right, watching. Looks like that is the turn 3 complex right there.
And we do have a safety truck headed out there, John.
Dispatching. That's probably for John. Probably trying to get John Bowles out of there. Driving a first-gen RX-7, if I remember correctly.
I did see one of those out there, John.
Yep.
Good old magical spinning triangles.
Yeah, John, he's comfortable with the car. It's working for him, so, run it until there's no more spare parts left, which, I don't know. When was the last time you saw one in a junkyard?
Oh, that's a good question, John, and I can remember building an RX-7 from junkyard parts when they were plentiful.
No longer.
Yep.
I think most of them have been made into beer cans by now. Or some other fungible commodity. That's your word for the day, fungible. Look it up. Learn something. All right, folks, we are right now about 21 minutes in, 30-minute scheduled contest. We're going to run a little bit long. We were scheduled to be checkers by now. Had a couple of delays that put us back, a little bit of weather, a few technical challenges, but we are still rocking and rolling.
I see a flag out at start-finish, John, but I think it's just a standing yellow.
Okay, so they must be going to get John Bowles somewhere around the turn. All right, somewhere around turn 11 area. That's probably where he has gotten. There it is. Hey, look, a safety truck. So John is beached out there somewhere. He'll have a good meeting with the COTA safety crew. They'll take care of him as they've taken care of everybody this weekend. Really exceptional facility, exceptional staff. Very glad to be here for the 2018 NASA National Championships presented by Toyo Tires. All right, that looks like our PTE field again. There they go. Oh, checker just flew. So there we go. I don't know if that may have flown. I think that may have flown just ahead of the PTE field. Not quite sure because we're still learning a little bit about where all the different, I think the checker is flying. You can see it in that view way down south. So we think that may have checkered the whole PTE field because they were just getting through there when the checker flew. But that may have been the GTS field getting to them. So let's see how hard the PTE guys and the PTD folks are still going after it. Joey Thomas was in that BMW. We're watching him for a little bit. Looks like they're still at full speed. So I think the checker fell just behind the PTD and PTE group. So the GTS cars, I believe, are all in. So now it is just the PTD folks and the Miata consolation race that are yet to finish out their contest. Whoa! That's our Miatas. A little bit of sideways coming in. They know it's the end of the race for them. That's Shihan Chandrasoma going to take the win. Nice work. Then Keith Williamson, James Harrell, Michael Cummings, Sean Douglas, Tony Sinise, Ryan Pond, Renaud, Roland Hubert, Jason Griepentrag, and Tim Barber. That will be your Spec Miata field. Believe PTE and D still have to come home, but let's give you GTS. Greg Smith with the win, then Eric Foss, Will Choice, Doug Young, Kerry James in P5, Peter Chang, Steve Dunn, Zach Hillman, and Richard Bosco.
In PTD, it looks like our finishing order is Joey Thomas, followed by Jose Garcia, followed by Jose Garcia, followed by Larry West
Followed
Sr.
by Jose Garcia, followed by Littering Ann.
Graham Baker in 5th place, Kit Leslie in 6th. In PTE, Chris Kapitsky taking home the win, or the first qualifying spot, I should say.
Right.
Team Rotary Head in 2nd place. 3rd is Jamie Close, honoring George Close Jr. 4th place, Team Abigail Motorsports, up a few from their starting position. 5th place, Roman Weissman, followed by Robert Dietz and John Bowles.
So that's it, folks. We have closed out the competition for today from the Circuit of the Americas at the 2018 NASA Championships presented by Toyo Tires. Had a heck of a day of racing, a little bit of weather thrown into the mix. All sorts of stuff going on. Hey, one little announcement we did have. One of our friends, Jack Cabetto, managed to lose track of a Apple MacBook and a charger for a gimbal that was downstairs in the driver information area, and we think that someone just picked that up by mistake. So if you're looking around and you may see a MacBook along with a charger for a gimbal system, then that may be Jack Cabeto's, and we'd appreciate it if you could bring that back to driver info. All right, folks, well, that is it for our first formal day of competition. You had the Toyo Tires Classic Big Show. Good qualifying racing throughout the field. Our time trial drivers started their competition. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, this is brought to us by all of our sponsors at NASA. Big thank you to those sponsors. Big thank you to the Circuit of the Americas and their staff, all of our NASA officials, and all of the families that support our racers, and let them come out and play with us on the weekends. So everybody stay safe. Stay out of trouble tonight if you can, and we will see you tomorrow back at the 2018 NASA Championships presented by Toyo Tires. Jeff, take us out.
John, thank you. I will.
All right.
Off we go.
We're out of here. We'll see you all tomorrow. Take good care. Bye-bye.